Hey, what's up, folks? Here is Billor's Week 11 review. All right, let's get into it. So, this week ended up being pretty good. I mean, it ended up being really good considering the situation that I was in at the end of last week, which, as you all know, I was in the shop all week last week for Thanksgiving. Was that last week? Yes. I was in the shop all week last week for Thanksgiving. Ended up getting my air conditioner fixed. My O-rings and seals next to the expansion valve under the dash went bad and leaked all my refrigerant out. That was after I had Love's fix everything. They were supposed to change those, but I guess they decided not to. Anyways, so I got the AC fixed. I did the PM service on the truck. I got the truck inspected for Billor's freebie week. And there we go. So I got the inspection done for the free week. And when my settlement email came out last week, I was negative $5,600. Because I had absolutely no runs over Thanksgiving. I delivered an port in Jacksonville and then immediately went into the shop. And because of it being Thanksgiving, things just went bad. So, you might be wondering, how did you get out of the negative? Or did you get out of the negative? Well, I'm happy to report that this week I did get out of the negative. And I actually brought in a pretty decent amount considering the negative that I was in. Now, before I get into that, Billor changed the way that they are doing negative balances now for drivers as a way to kind of help us over those hurdles, as a way to split the negative up while still allowing us to bring in some, some money to pay for our personal finances, whatever you may have. Now, this is something they have not done in the past. And it's been a, if you have a negative week, you have to have a really great follow-up week to get out of that negative, pay for your expenses for the new week, and still bring something in, which is very difficult in today's freight market. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is difficult in today's freight market. So what Billor's finance team did, and I'm just going to read this out to you. This is exactly what I got from my dispatcher. I think every driver over here got this exact same message. Dear drivers, to ensure better financial management and help recover outstanding overdue balances, we are implementing a new payment policy applicable exclusively to drivers who currently have overdue. This policy will remain in effect until the balance is fully resolved. So basically what they're saying is this is a financial plan to help you cover the overdue while you have an overdue. Drivers will only receive the guaranteed net amount if their weekly revenue is sufficient to cover all charges for the current week. That means if you're, like me, you have $1,600 in your fixed expenses. That's truck, trailer, insurance, all of that stuff. And then you have your fuel plus your FinTechs if you have any FinTechs. For me, my weekly is about $4,100 because I have the $1,600 for the fixed costs. I run about anywhere between $2,000 to $2,300 in fuel. And I currently have $450 in outstanding FinTech. So when you look at this, you have to be able to cover your current expenses. You should be, when you're figuring everything up, you should be looking at receiving a settlement, but then this plan goes into effect to cover that overdue. Revenue between $5,000 to $6,000, they are going to guarantee you $200 as a deposit. That may not seem like a lot, But also, if you're in the negative, you're only running $5,000 to $6,000 in the week, you're not really making a lot. Depending on what your overdue is, you're not really making a lot anyways. Revenue between $6,000 and $7,000, you're guaranteed to net $800. And even in today's freight market, $6,000 to $7,000 is not difficult. If you're out here working, it's not difficult. It's not, you know, you don't really have to bust your butt to make $6,000 to $7,000. You really don't. You do have to be selective on loads. You do have to fight for a higher RPM, but it's easy to do. It really is. And then for revenue above $7,000, you're guaranteed a net of $1,200. So now how they figure that out is they're going to take and they're going to figure your settlement up like normal. And if you run, we're going to say if you run $7,000, all your expenses and everything, you know, you get your 85% of that $7,000, you subtract all your expenses off of that $7,000, and let's say you come in at a $3,000 settlement. What Billor does is they subtract $1,200, because that's what you're guaranteed. They subtract that $1,200 from that $3,000, which leaves you a balance of $1,800. That $1,800 then gets applied to your overdue balance. So it is a very nice way, in my opinion, for them to help drivers overcome a big negative, because most lease purchases, they leave you high and dry. You get into a negative, you know, and even Billor started out this way. You get into a negative, and if you want to get out of that negative, well, your following week better cover your current week expenses, all of that overdue, plus leave you money left over if you want to get anything. Now, we all know that is very difficult to do. So this is a way to help you overcome those negative balances. And I personally applaud Billor for trying something like this, to implement something like this. I applaud them for that, okay? That shows a real, much more driver-centric focus on the driver's income. So, you know, I can honestly say that I applaud them for that. A lot of you may not. You may think, well, that's too difficult to figure out. It's really not. But just keep in mind, a lot of your lease purchases won't allow you to split a negative balance. They won't. I know my time over at Night Transportation and Lease Purchase, the very first lease purchase I did, which I literally got into 9 months after I started truck driving. It was a huge mistake, but I did it for 2 years, and I was almost done paying off the truck, and then they changed some stuff like 6 months before the end of it, which made me turn the keys in. But even over at Night, if you were in a negative balance, they didn't split it. And if you wanted to make money the following week, you had to run your tail off and cover all your current week expenses plus that overdue and have money left over. So that is Billor's plan to help drivers out that may be in an overdue situation like I was. I mean, $5,600 in the negative, you know, there's no way, or there's a very slim way of covering all that plus your current week expenses and still getting a settlement. Now, this week I ran my tail off, and I mean, I really did. I have 4 loads on week 11. I'm gonna go over those. So when I finally got my truck back Saturday morning, I you know, got everything situated with getting the FinTech, getting the truck paid for, the maintenance paid for, and I did that between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. And I figured it's Saturday, I probably won't get a hold of anybody. but I'll send the message anyway. So I sent my message into my dispatch, and I'm like, hey, is there any chance of a load today? You know, the day after Black Friday. Who knew? So dispatch comes back and says, well, here's what's up on the load board. And there was a run from Savannah, Georgia to Terrell, North Carolina, which I know I mentioned on the last video. And I said, take it, because the rate per mile on that, the rate per loaded mile on that was $4.53. After the deadhead, because I had to deadhead from Jackson, Florida up to Savannah, Georgia, my rate per mile came in at $3.13. Okay, because it was 415 miles, and the rate we got on it was $1,300. I didn't even try negotiating that rate up anymore. I said, just take it. I want to get moving. So that was a fun load. I went and picked up 2 large steam valves for a power plant in North Carolina. So I get loaded. I run up to North Carolina. I was able to park on site, just not in the gate. I was able to park on site for a delivery Sunday morning at 7:30. So I get in there, I get unloaded. I think I was there for an hour out at 8:30. Now, being on Sunday, there was no hope for a load. There just wasn't any hope for a load. So I left there and went to the rest area on 77 and hung out until Monday morning, which ended up being Monday afternoon. But anyways, so they get back to me on Monday and we start looking for a load. And I had told them that, oh, hiccups. Excuse me. So I had told them that I wanted to swing up by my house in Pennsylvania to pick up some new stuff, which you'll see in the video. I got a, well, I didn't pull it out, but I got a ladder. I have an extendable pole to put edge protectors up, and I got a, my winch bar is a ratcheting winch bar now, and like I said, I'll show you that later on in the video. So anyways, they find a load from Hickory, North Carolina up to Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. Ended up being, again, bags of mulch. I don't know what it is with me stealing mulch, but anyways, it was pallets of mulch, tall pallets. This one did not need tarped, so thankfully it was just tossing straps, ratcheting them down, and then rolling. And I got loaded in Hickory at 3:30. I was out of there by 4:30. Well, I got there at 3. I was out by 4:30. And I drove up to Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. Stopped by my house, picked some stuff up. I know I said in the other video, when I swung by my house, Athena got injured. So you guys are aware, Athena. I don't know if you can see her on video. Raven, I was not calling you. But anyways, Athena's sitting over here. She is perfectly fine. Absolutely no negative effects from her run-in with the car. So, yay on that. Anyways, so I stopped by my house, picked some stuff up, had the incident with Athena. Made sure she was okay, got back in the truck, kept an eye on her. Well, I'm still keeping an eye on her, but I really don't have to right now because it's been long enough. I mean, we are literally almost a week since the incident. So, but anyway, so stop by the house, get all that stuff, take care, do all that stuff, get over to Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, and I dropped my load on Tuesday. Now, they got bad weather. We got bad weather in Pennsylvania, so nobody at this place came in until around noon. So I was parked there from about 3 o'clock in the morning until... So I was parked there from about 3:30 until noon the following day. Sorry if that repeated. My GoPro decided to do something crazy and stop recording for a second. So they came in, They got me unloaded at about, I left there around noon. I PC'd from there because I couldn't, they didn't want me staying on the property after I was unloaded to sit around and wait for a load, which I get. So I PC'd from there over to the Rudders, which was like a half hour away. And I sat there until about 4 o'clock. There was really no loads coming out on Tuesday because of the weather that were worthwhile for us to even look at. So I told Bianca, who is my one dispatcher, I told her, hey, look, you know, now it's 4 o'clock. We're not finding anything for today. I said, I'm just going to PC, or yeah, I'm going to PC down to my mom's place, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away. I said, I'll hang out there for the night and then we'll find something Wednesday morning. And she said, okay, that works out, you know, pretty good. So for Hickory, North Carolina to Mifflintown, I got paid $13.50. So now I'm already sitting at $26.50 for the week. Wednesday rolls around and we start looking at other loads, and well, first for that Hickory to Mifflinburg with my deadhead, I made $2.55 a mile. So with that, I then went to Hollidaysburg for a Wednesday pickup. However, because I got it first thing Wednesday morning, so I was like, great, I can make it there before, you know, the close off and everything. Because of the cold weather up there, what I was picking up, it was painted material and they had just painted it. The paint wasn't dry. So at about 12:30, when I'm about not even 10 minutes away from this place, I get a call from my dispatcher. Hey, the broker called us. This load isn't ready until Thursday. Great. Okay. Not a problem. Whatever. And she said, do you want me to try to find you a short load to run between now and your pickup tomorrow in Hollidaysburg? And I said, no. I said, if it was earlier in the day and we had got this, you know, first thing this morning knowing about this, I said it would have been different. But now it's so much later in the day, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to get me a short run and get me back to Hollidaysburg in time to do the pickup on Thursday. And she said, okay, you know, I understand that. So that's what we did. Is I just went to, again, a Rudders out in Hollidaysburg, about a mile away from where I was, and I sat there until Thursday morning. Now, I didn't go pick up my load until, hang on, I didn't go pick my load up until around 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, because no one told me what time it was going to be ready. And I had an open pickup window, so I was like, okay, not a problem. So I went over to the pickup, got loaded on Thursday, ended up being less than 5,000 pounds on the load. It was literally a catwalk for a machine. I had one crate of stuff, and then I had some railing and 2 pieces of catwalk. So I get that loaded up and I hustle butt down to Lugoff, South Carolina, which is just on the northeast side of Columbia, South Carolina. And I got there last night, got parked, did my 10-hour break, and then this morning I went into my receiver and got unloaded there, which I was delivering to a sand mine, which was interesting because now my boots are covered in sand because it was raining in it. But yeah, anyways, so I got unloaded there, and then we were looking for a load. Once I left there, we were looking for a load, and I ended up getting a load out to Gillette, Wyoming from Huger, South Carolina. So I'm down near Charleston right now. I'm actually waiting for them to call me to load me. My appointment was 10:30. They did tell me that they were backed up, so it's probably going to be a couple hours. Well, for the Huger, South Carolina to Gillette, Wyoming, they're paying me $41.25. Comes out to be about $2 a mile. It's really not that great, but you know, it's a nice load for the weekend. Delivers Monday morning. Gonna be hauling steel beams, so yay, no tarp. But anyways, so that all said, I actually don't know what my RPM is on this because I haven't figured it up. I do know it was 95 empty miles, and I think it's 1993 for the loaded miles. So yeah, it comes out to $1.98 a mile. Not the greatest, but I'm still making money on the load. I am still making money on the load, or at least breaking even. Haven't figured that out yet. But anyways, so total expenses for this week, with my fuel, I only had to fuel up twice. I managed to skate by with $809.59 in fuel. Along with that, I got my free week this week, so instead of the $1,600 for fixed costs, my fixed costs were $0. My total gross revenue for this week off of load pay was $6,863.75 with a $490 fintech. So my gross due was $5,564. Now, that is what I have figured up. I'm trying to figure up how I managed to bring in way more than that. But anyways, so when I got my settlement email this week, I again am in tier 1. I got my fuel cash backs. They gave me $50 for a holiday trailer discount, and then I got $150 for my tier 1 bonus. They have my gross revenue figured up at $9,946.31. $8,075 of that is my load revenue. So with bonuses and incomes, on the way that they do their things out, the bonuses and incomes comes out to $1,871.31. That's with my zero cost, because the way they do it is they give you the zero cost in bonuses and incomes, and then under the deductions, they still show all of the deductions for your weekly fixed costs, but it washes out, like I said, because they actually... They tell you it's a zero cost bonus, so they add that to your revenue to cover your fixed expenses. So they took, from what I can see here, they took everything out. The only thing they didn't take out was a fintech charge. But they took out my entire negative balance of $5,600. And my costs for this week. So they have my total cost figured up at $8,048.21. So maybe they did take my fintechs out. It's just not showing. It's just not showing here. Which left me a net income of $1,898. So I ran hard, I ran good. I did an $8,000 week with my free week, or on my free week, and with my negative, I still brought in $1,898. Now, I will say they kept my payment open. They did not process my payment until this morning. At about 9:30, they closed my payments out. They paid for this Wyoming on last week's settlement because I was delayed getting down here, not through my own fault. It was because that load that I was supposed to pick up on Wednesday, deliver Thursday, didn't pick up until Thursday and delivered Friday. That was a customer delay. That was not a driver delay. So, yes, I am in the hole now. Next week, my fixed costs, plus I've got all the fuel that I'm going to be spending getting up to Wyoming for Monday morning to cover on next week. I also need to do a 34, so next week might be a little bit tighter, but hey, I was able to cover my bills, like my rent and stuff. You know, I can't complain about that. I still got money left over in my bank, you know, to live on, get scale tickets and stuff like that. And I cannot complain on that. You know what I mean? They did not screw me over. Everything was on the up and up. I was figuring on getting about $1,200 because I honestly didn't think it was gonna, you know, my revenue was gonna turn out that good this week. But it did. And it would have turned out that good, you know, regardless. We were looking at a couple loads for Thursday that paid more than this Wyoming load. You know, we were looking at some loads that were like $5,000, $5,500 for pickup on Thursday and deliver on Monday. Well, that didn't happen because, you know, I got delayed by the shipper. But still, you know, I'm happy. Yeah, I got out of my negative. I didn't have to take, you know, I didn't get $1,200. I got almost $1,900 this week. And all my negatives are covered. So that shows me that, well, number one, me and my dispatch worked really well together to get some really good paying loads. Except for this Wyoming load, which isn't the greatest, but hey, it's, you know, it's not a complete bust of a load where I'm paying to run the load. I'm actually making money on the load. You know, I pulled in that settlement. That's, you know, that shows me that things are starting to pick. I mean, things are starting to pick up. Rate-wise, it's slow, but I'm starting to see some much better rates coming in. And like I said, my dispatch team is working with me, you know, amazingly. Now, is that going to be everybody's experience? No. But again, with lease purchase, you get in, you get out what you put in. You know, I might as well address that now. Lease purchase is not the best option for everybody. Well, it's not the best option for anybody really, because you overpay for the trucks. No matter where you go lease purchase, you're overpaying for the truck. You know, you're going to be paying for your insurances. You may or may not have to pay for the trailer, you know, all your maintenances and stuff. And, you know, you're typically not making that great of a percentage. Over here at Billor, am I overpaying for the truck? Oh, God, yes. Yeah, I'm overpaying for the truck. I'm not harboring any delusions about that. I am way overpaying for the truck. I'm paying quite a bit for insurance, and I'm paying for the trailer rent and everything. Some of that stuff should be covered by the 15%, but, you know, it is what it is. 85% out of gross is a really good, I mean, is a pretty good percentage. Landstar only pays 70. So with percentage-wise, we make out better than Landstar. And if they keep going the route that they're going with shifting into a more driver-centric focus on finances, then, you know, they're on the right track. Billor is on the right track. To be a powerhouse in the lease purchase field, without it being a quote-unquote predatory lease, because so far they have not done anything to me that denotes predatory. Like all of my negative balances that I've had over here, I can justify and explain. Okay, everything is in black and white. I can justify and explain it. I know what happened. I know where things went wrong. And I don't blame Billor for those things going wrong. Okay, do they make mistakes? Yes. Are they perfect? No. They are human. But they are willing to work with you to an extent. You know, they are, like I said, with that negative balance thing that they implemented, you know, that's huge. I don't care who you are. It is huge. In the lease purchase game, it is huge. Do I recommend lease purchase to everybody? No. No, I don't recommend lease purchase because it's difficult. It is so much more difficult because you're locked where you're at. You know, with the truck payment, you're locked where you're at. Very few lease purchases will let you take the truck wherever you want. So you're locked where you're at. You know, I know a lot of people have negative experiences with Billor over here. And again, I have to sit back and I look at my, you know, review from my review 2 videos ago where, you know, I was considering leaving because I couldn't understand what they were doing with my paycheck. Now today, again, this is another change that they made. They now have somebody working internally in the finance department to make sure that payments are processed on time, so there's no delay in processing. So they closed my payments out and processed my payments between 9:30 and 10 o'clock this morning. I laid down, well, it was about 5 o'clock. I still hadn't had my payment. I was laid down and napping, waiting to come pick this load up. And when I woke up at 8 o'clock tonight to come here, I checked my bank account and my payment was there. Now, do I blame Billor for the delay in my payment coming in Friday night, not Friday morning? No, because they purposely held my payment open so that I was unloaded at my stop this morning and I was empty and en route to pick this load up. And one of the things they did tell me was that, you know, I'm going to close the payments out. I'm going to release payment on the load to Wyoming. But if there's any issues, you will get a charge back on the load next week. So, you know, I was forewarned that, you know, if I didn't make this pickup or the load canceled or whatever, you know, they were going to charge me back for what they paid me for the load, which, hey, I understand that, you know. I'm not going to expect them to pay me for a load that cancels out or that I screw up and don't make the pickup on or whatever. So yeah, you know, now I am here waiting to get picked up. I was checked in on time. They told me that they were running behind, so I figured, hey, I'll make my YouTube video for the review. So yeah, you know, 2 weeks and I went from ready to say F this because they weren't paying me to things are looking up in a much better way. I still don't know if I would recommend people coming here, not because of Billor. Not because of Billor. I'm gonna say that flat out. I don't recommend anybody doing a lease purchase right now simply because of freight rates. You gotta wait for the rates to come up a little bit more. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see rates come up pretty good in the flatbed area because of the FMCSA getting rid of all the illegal CDLs. We're already starting to see that impact in the freight rates. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to take a little while for the brokers to realize, hey, we don't have all these scabs to just throw $1 a mile loads at. We've got American truckers that are going to sit here and go, no, we're not going to let you steal our money. So I don't recommend people doing lease purchase right now. If you do lease purchase and you decide to come to Billor, just know that there are issues over here yet. It is not a perfect company, but all in all, they are on the right track to be a powerhouse in the lease purchase sector without being predatory. Are they based out of Brazil? Yes, they are. Billor themselves, they are not in America. A lot of your dispatchers are going to have very thick Brazilian accents. So, you know, you can't hold that against them, because they are doing as much of a learning curve as you are getting into the lease purchase. You know, that they're new to the trucking game. They got a lot of things to learn. That does not make them bad people. That does not make them a bad company. You know, with them trying to do changes to, like I said, become driver centric with regards to the lease purchase, and ensuring that drivers can still bring money in even if they do have a negative balance on their settlements to, you know, recoup from. That is huge. Because I was looking at that $5,600 negative going, man, I'm not going to get a paycheck for 4 weeks. I honestly thought I wasn't going to get a paycheck for like 3 or 4 weeks because of that balance. They implemented that, and then miraculously I pulled in an $8,000 revenue week with my right on top of my free week, and hey, I'm out of the hole with almost a $2,000 settlement. So it's possible. It's possible. Difficult to do, and the timing's got to be just right, but it is possible. So yeah, my week 11 review, I'm gonna give Billor a thumbs up this week based on the 2 changes that I've seen so far that they've done. Again, it's looking a lot better. It really is looking a lot better. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy some of the new footage that I did manage to take when I loaded at my when I did get loaded at my shipper yesterday. I managed to set the new cameras up, you know, get everything set back up. I did get a microphone for my GoPro. However, it is not compatible with my camera. So my mom asked me what I wanted for Christmas, so I sent her the media mod for one of my cameras with the microphone. So here in a couple weeks, next time I get back home, she's gonna give me that as an early Christmas present, and I'll have better audio quality for this stuff. So we're making some moves there too, which is pretty cool. But yeah, folks, Billor week 11, I'm gonna give Billor a thumbs up this week. They're starting to get things situated here that's looking really good. And if things keep going on that track, it'd be worth looking into. I don't know what else to tell you. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Stay safe out there. Hey, what's up, people? So here we are, Tuesday. I delivered my load of mulch this morning, and I'm currently waiting on dispatch to see if we can get this load down to Ginn, Alabama. Not exactly the best location to go. I'm pretty sure I'll have some deadhead coming out of there. It's gonna be a lumber load, it looks like, which means tarps. Yay. But they're trying for 2,400. See if we can get it rolling. Started the week out really good. Left Jacksonville after I picked my truck up and deadheaded up to Savannah, Georgia. And when I left Savannah, Georgia, I went to Terrell, North Carolina. I got 1,300 for that load. it was only like 280 miles loaded. So I got a really, really, really good rate on that one. And then I sat all day on Sunday because, you know, Sunday, nobody's working Sundays. Monday, I ended up sitting until 3:30. My load that I got booked in Hickory did not pick up until 3:30. So I rolled out at about 3 o'clock. I was only 30 minutes away. Got there, got loaded with big tall stacks of mulch again. Yeah. Brought that up here to Mifflintown, Pennsylvania for Tuesday morning. I got up here early in the morning. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when I pulled in. I had stopped at the house. I told you guys about what happened with Athena here. As you can tell, she's a little sore today, but all in all, she's eating and drinking like normal. She's playing with Raven a little bit. So a couple days and she should be right as rain. But I had left the house then. I went over here to Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, got unloaded. Today it was around 12 o'clock when they finally came in and unloaded. Then I left there and I came down here to the Rudders right down the road. It was literally like half a mile. So I just PC'd it down here and just notated in there. Had to leave the property once I was unloaded. So yeah, now I'm waiting to see if I can get this load out of Herndon, Pennsylvania, going to Ginn, Alabama for $2,400. That'll put me at $5 grand for the week already. To deliver that Tuesday or Thursday morning, and then I should be able to pick up a really nice load on Thursday morning. And if they split my negative balance like I'm hoping, I'll have about a $3,000 paycheck if they get me like a $4,000 run for the weekend. So yeah, I'm hopeful about that. So I told you guys last video on the week 10 review that I picked up, you know, some extra stuff for here on the truck. I got the camera equipment. Hang on. So I got the camera equipment, but then I also grabbed a ladder. I'm not gonna pull the ladder down because the ladder's kind of big. But I got, hang on. Okay. Yeah, this lumber load wants me to take it for $1,800 going 900 miles with tarps. No, $2,000 minimum. Ain't the best rate, but I'm not going that low. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, it flew all the way back there. Man. Let's see if I can get this. Broker only wanted to pay $1,800 for a $900 900 mile run, and my dispatcher was like, you know, I told her 2,000 minimum, And so she goes back to the broker and says, can we try for 2,000? The broker just goes, no. And my dispatcher's like, I'll find something else. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not dealing with the road conditions up here in Pennsylvania right now, and having to throw tarps on a load for that cheap. That's just, no. Anyways, give me a minute. I really gotta get those on. Now, I still need to tighten down some bolts on this, but this is my edge protector pole. You guys see that? So, this pole, like I said, oh, of course I did that. This pole, like I said, extends out, but I can put my edge protectors in here and extend it up, and I can put my edge protectors up without having to climb up on top. But I gotta tighten the 2 screws right there. I gotta tighten those up. And my Allen keys are all in my dog box, and I really don't feel like getting into my dog box right now. Oh, what is she saying? Oh, wow. Okay, so she's actually getting on board. All right, Bianca. Thank you. The other thing that I got for flatbedding was a new winch bar. Everybody knows what a winch bar looks like. That right there, that's a winch bar. One of the things I notice when I'm throwing straps is I am extremely, well, I don't want to say I'm extremely slow, but it is a lot slower process to tighten my straps down with that. Oh, what is she saying here now? Morgantown, West Virginia to Dallas, Texas. 40,000. Is that Texas tarped? Anyways, so you know, when you're dealing with your winch straps or your strap winches, that's how you tighten them, right? Well, I'm not sponsored by Mighty, but I tell you what, I would love to get a Mighty sponsor, because they got some cool stuff that I want to get for on this truck. But I went to Mighty Products again, and everybody knows that I went to Mighty to get my hang on, what's the offered rate? But I found this on Mighty, and I was like, I really want to give this a go. I want to give this a try, because I think it will make tightening my straps down easier. 3,300. Try for the deadhead. So if I pick up tomorrow, we'll need to work on getting by Friday pick up on this. Anyway, so I got this because, like I said, tightening down your straps on your winches, I mean, it's doable, but it's slow, and you know, having to constantly pull the winch bar out, put it back in, pull it out, put it back in while you're trying to strap. That's right. It's a ratchet. This part here, this pin pops out rather easily. And you stick that into the end of your winches. You know, you stick it in like that, line it up with the hole, you take this pin, pop it in, and now you don't have to sit there and constantly pull the winch bar out. You use it like a ratchet. Is this thing heavier than my other winch bar? Oh God, yeah. Probably a good 5-10 pounds heavier. But that's all right, because I like carrying heavy things. Because who needs a gym membership? So yeah, I got that too. But that's what I got going on so far this week. You will see in another segment when I got to this rudders here. I tried cleaning my truck off. Of course, both my batteries were dead for my leaf blower, so you know, I ended up pushing the snow off with my broom, but that's all right. Anyways, we'll get at ya when I know more about what's going on. Stay. Hello, I'm here for a pickup.
All right.
They originally scheduled it for yesterday, but then told me it wasn't going to be ready until today, and they did not tell me what time. Pickup number I have for it is 177633. And it's going down to South Carolina, Lugoff, South Carolina.
You Billor?
Yeah.
Can you sign and date there on the driver line?
Sure can. What time was it ready this morning?
Right off that one.
Today's the 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the same issue yesterday. And it was never going to be dry.
Oh, with the cold weather and paint? Yeah.
It wasn't going to dry.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if they would have told me it was going to be ready at 7, like I was up at 6:30 this morning, but like nobody told me what time it was going to be ready. And I had seen on Google Maps, you guys really don't have a large area here. It's like, so I'm not going to just go sit there for no reason.
Yeah, the town's been built around this place.
Doesn't surprise me.
1835.
Oh, wow.
Been here a little while. Look at the wall behind you. See them checks and stuff?
Yeah.
Old paper.
That's awesome. I'm from Pennsylvania. I actually only live like 2 hours away from here.
Down east.
Yeah, you know where Miserville is? Mount Pleasant Mills?
Mount Pleasant Mills, I heard of.
Yeah. And I got a question. Do you know exactly how many chains I'm going to need for this? Do I need to tarp it? Because nobody had any information for me.
Well, they said they didn't want to hear about tarps. We don't require tarps, but this is a customer setup thing, you know.
Yeah.
They set it up. Yeah,
Nothing.
I wouldn't worry about it, but you're not gonna hurt anything. Nothing's gonna hurt. It's all sitting outside right now.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of figuring. And it's what
Yeah,
about?
you don't need no tarps and no chains, straps. All you need is straps.
Oh, is this a strap load, no chain?
Yeah, it's all light.
The only reason I'm asking is because, well, it's booked through C.H. Robinson, and they have on the load notes that I need 24 chains. And I'm like, there is no flatbedder out there that runs 24 chains.
No, you ain't gonna need 24 straps. It's 6,000 pounds.
Is it 6?
Yeah, this says 5, but you know, it's light.
This says 3.
Yeah, and mine's telling me it's about 5,000. It's all light.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Hey, if it's
no
just
chains, no tarps,
you know what?
good.
If it's just straps, that's great because I just bought a brand new winch bar for my truck.
All right.
One that turns it into a ratchet instead of having to pull them out. So I get to test that out.
Yeah, your truck right here.
Yeah, I'm the red. I parked back there a little bit because I didn't want to block the gate because
I'm gonna get on my coat here and stuff, and I'll walk down the bottom of the ramp, just pull up here, and I'll show you where we need to go.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Straps only. Okay. I ain't even gonna need 24. No. I mean, 5,000 pounds. Hell, that's one fucking strap. Look at it, Tina.
the banshee's bitter cry. Trades burn the asphalt under blood-red sky. Steel fury rolling, shadows in his wake. A trucker's rage, the ground starts to quake. The storm he drives is the storm he makes. Steel fury rolling, something's bound to break. Steel fury rolling, shadows in his wake. A trucker's rage, the ground starts to quake. The storm he drives is the storm he makes. Steel fury rolling, something's bound to break.
This thing is amazing. I love this thing. Made that so much quicker. All right, I just need to get my dunnage secured and we're out of here. See you later.
The highway bleeds, hunger eats the stars, her need recedes. Diesel dreams in a smoky haze, eyes red, 1,000-mile gaze. Shifting gears, her heart unravels. Motel whispers, empty travels. Broken radio, static hum. Every mile heavier, nowhere to run. Iron road collapse, she's burning fast. Desire buried, shadows cast. No touch, no rest, just a ghost in glass. Iron road collapse, she won't to seat her coffin, a ship with no sail. Horns scream, night claws her skin. Exhaustion pulls her deeper in. Lonely jukebox in her head. Echo songs of love long dead. The wheel turns, her body cold. Chasing freight but losing soul. Iron road collapse. She's burning fast. Desire buried. Shadows cast. No touch, no rest. Just a ghost in glass. Iron road collapse. She won't outlast. She won't outlast.
High scream sermons, blacktop gospel flow. Wise red movies, no sleep where the diesel goes. Dash clock spinning, ticking my last hope. Night eats the horizon, shadows on a tightrope. Mile markers vanish, devoured by the dark. Camera rolling coffin with a faint spark. Radio whispers, voices crawl through the static. Brains a cracked mirror, every thought erratic. The wheel keeps turning, my soul keeps burning. Handshake my fate, the road keeps turning. The wheel keeps turning, my soul keeps burning. Handshake my fate, the road keeps turning. Highway to hollow, chasing down the sorrow. Dreams die in the rear view, no more tomorrows. Madness in the mirrors, shadows wanna follow. On this highway to hollow, this highway to hollow. Fuel gauge a liar, promises I can't trust. Steering through delirium, lungs filled with dust. Echoes of laughter, or is it the will?